7 days. You can see there's a disturbance off the coast of Africa here. It's forecast to move this way. In the same general area that Aaron was when it formed, but I don't think it's quite as strong and not likely to develop until it reaches the southwest Atlantic. And the reason I say that is there's some shear overall, and maybe it's within a pocket of mid-level moisture. It's possible we get a tropical depression now that I look at it closer. Um, Although if it doesn't develop, if it does develop, it may end up getting sheared apart if these low pressure areas remain off to their um, west. See the upper level flow moving this way. So the system may encounter some drier air and shear, and once it passes this area, this may lift out too in time. We'll just have to see. But right now, National Hurricane Center has this area right here in this area, 20% chance of development in 7 days. Here's Aaron. Another thing to consider too, if this develops and it goes over, excuse me, the same waters that Aaron went over, the waters are turned up and maybe cooler than forecast, or cooler than normal because of upwelling. So just have to watch that too if it does develop. So the Google DeepMind and a Euro, both weathergraph and Euro high res, not the ensembles, want to develop maybe a hurricane here in the northwest Atlantic by 10 days from now, and a tropical storm within a week or so. So I think the possibilities are increasing that we'll get something again off the northern around the northern Caribbean, Lesser Antilles. It'll develop at that point, but we'll just have to see. And if we look at the model output, there's Aaron. This is the European ensembles here. This is a low pressure that we're watching moving to the west here. Not a lot of agreement on model output from ensembles right now, kind of spread out. Even with Aaron, you can see the model uncertainty becomes greater over time here, but not a lot of agreement on the ensemble members, and not that many ensemble members all over the place. So it still remains to be seen what's going to happen here. And if we look at the environment surrounding this potential cyclone here, as it moves through the flow, it's associated with a pocket of moisture there, surrounded by dry air. See that upper low, that low level, that vorticity inducing some shear over top of it from the west, kind of moves in tandem with it, and really doesn't lift out and let it get going until, and even then it's a lot of dry air surrounding it. So that's maybe one of the limiting factors for its development, at least according to this model run. Of course, it remains to be seen how this all plays out, but um, that's the European and the ensemble output from the European. This is the GFS ensemble around the same time period, 24th. Wants to put some members here in the Caribbean Sea or north of Lesser Antilles. Again, not that many members right now, but there's enough of a chance that the Hurricane Center thinks it's a possibility this could develop at this point. If you look at the European output of the upper level wind pattern here, there's your incipient circulation out here, moving to the east or west, sorry. Quite a bit of shear being induced on the system, not a lot of high pressure right over top of it as it moves eastward. We start to get some divergence aloft over top of it as it gets north of Lesser Antilles, and that's probably why the models are picking up on possible development at this point. And then again, a trough picks it up. There's a trough off the east coast. It picks it up and moves it out to sea. The upper level wind pattern doesn't look too favorable really till it reaches northern Caribbean here, north of the Caribbean islands. So that's from the European model, and this is the ensemble output for the super ensembles going through the 24th here. Not a lot of agreement at this point on what's going to happen here. So remains to be seen whether we get development or not. It wants to get something going, but then a few members have some strong stuff here, but nothing really in agreement at this point. So, like National Hurricane Center said, there's a 20% chance of development next 7 days. So we can wait and see what happens here. Um, so if we look at here's an experimental output showing the potential development of Genesis within the next 48 hours in different models here. There's Aaron, and here's the other possibilities of development within the next 48 hours. You have 7%. You have the triangle, which is the UCMET, and the diamond, which is the European 7%, GFS 6%. Each one of these is the hours development, and there's other possible chance of Genesis up here in the northern Atlantic Ocean, which isn't going to be a concern for land at all. If we go further out, 0 to 120-hour Genesis guidance, you see the possibilities increase 24% for the European, which includes the UCMET and the European, and GFS 18%. You go further out in time here, 28% for the GFS. This is up to 168 hours out, which is close to 7 days. 40 and 30%. So, and 30% up here in the North Atlantic, which that just seems to be sticking there for some reason. It's the NavGem model. Like I said, I won't be concerned about that, but I wanted to show you the probabilities here. And environmental conditions seem more favorable, like I said, when it reaches the Caribbean, and I have a feeling this is what all the models are picking up on. So I think it bears watching. Nothing to worry about at this point. Once we get a low pressure system that forms, we'll be able to track it. Probably have something better idea once it crosses out here and into the middle southern Atlantic Ocean in the main development region. Either way, we're in the peak of hurricane tropical system for the tropical Atlantic, so it always is good to keep an eye on things and have have a watchful eye to the tropics this time of year. That's all I got for this for today. I'm gonna make another video talk about